Aloha, what's up guys? I'm here at the creek today. We're gonna go diving, look for some prawns. I think this stream is loaded up right now. The water is super clear here. We're gonna go in, get some Tahitian prawns, grill them up. Maybe I'll find some ho'io or some thimbleberry, put it together and make a really delicious meal. What I'm looking for is kind of like cracks and crevices. They like to hang out inside of those. Sometimes you stun them, you don't always hit them directly head on, and a stun can usually kind of knock them out a little bit, and then it gives me time to recollect, either reload the spear or go and just grab it with my hand. Some of these guys weren't used to humans at all, so you could just kind of go up to them and corner them with your hands and grab them, which is the first time I've ever experienced that. On the right side of this pond, there was this huge cropping of like floating driftwood and leaves. Underneath it, there was like a small cave, and inside of that cave, there was loaded up with the really big ones. I'd say most of the ones I was getting to was like a larger medium to large, and then a couple extra large. Some streams, it's all extra large. And the current was actually really strong this day. It's hard to tell in the video, but when you see me kind of like flapping my legs around, that's because I don't have fins or a weight belt. And so I'm going back under to that cave again, and I was scoring under there. If I had a dive light, it would have been a little easier. Sometimes when I go freshwater prawning, I like to bring the dive light because you can kind of see them and pick and choose which one to shoot with a spear. Yeah, so there's a couple of different ponds. I like to kind of rotate in and out of them. Once they get used to you in the water and you shoot a couple of them, they're all going to hide. So if you take an hour break to go hit the other pond and come back, they'll come back out of their hiding places, and it'll be another pass you can do over them. Yeah, so the water is actually really cold, surprisingly. You'd think in a jungle the water would be pretty warm, but this day the water was ice cold. I should have worn my full suit. Even with the half suit, I was starting to get pretty chilly, which is kind of funny. Same thing with the fins. Not having the fins, it was making me having to really paddle a lot, and I was wearing my tabis, and they got soaked and got a little heavy. But I kind of pushed through it and still had a really good session. So it just had a full moon. You can see how long the arms are on this guy. Just had the full moon, so when it's the full moon, a lot of them are soft. It means their skin and shell is like perfect for grilling, frying. It's almost like a soft shell shrimp or prawn. But, man, we got some good ones. They're not like regular shrimp where they have huge tails, but the head is where all the action is for me. That's my favorite part of these guys anyways. So it's like a crawfish, you know, you like suck the head kind of action. That's why they get the name Tahitian blue prawn, is because this blue color over here. They're actually not from Tahiti originally. They're from the Marquesas Islands. That's the cohort that was brought over here from in the 1950s. So they brought them here in 1950. They released them on Oahu. Oh, this guy's still holding on. And they didn't see them for 10 years in any of the streams. And then finally in 1965, for 15 years, 1965, they found in over 42 streams that they had populated. The only unfortunate thing is they outcompete the native opai, which is the native shrimp. You usually find those in Big Island, in the outer islands. And those are really yummy, those native shrimp. See the 3-prong I'm using, this Evolve. It's a really awesome 3-prong. I only have it set to half weight right now. Usually it's at an 8 foot, but I have it set only like to 5 right now, because it's a little bit better to manage. The only thing is it's really strong, so it's made for shooting bigger fish, or fish in general, breaking through their scales and getting them. So when I shoot the shrimp, sometimes it explodes. Very distinctive mud smell. The blood from these guys. Remember this one?
Orange rock.
Yeah, you can play. You can eat it. This uncle told me that it has a lot of vitamins and stuff, and if you're like nutrient deficient, you can see it's got like all kinds of iron, different nutrients. He said it's nature's multivitamin. I'm gonna eat a little bit of this raw. Super grainy. Super fresh water. It's like a Kangen water. And this one. Moon, try this one. Moon, try this. This is the sour stick, lemon stick.
You just chew it.
Yeah.
Kind of tastes like a shoe.
It's just like sour. It's yummy. It's good when you're like really
Dying.
thirsty.
Yeah.
These guys in Colombia showed me this in the Andes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know we had a lot of the same plants over here.
Every time I've been to like tropical places, Colombia, Fiji,
They got similar stuff?
99% similar.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
So right over here, this is the Ho'io ferns. We've got this whole big patch. And then all along the side of this ridge is thimbleberry, which is a pretty rare berry for Hawaii and Oahu. Something that you don't really see every day is red, juicy berries. So let's see if we can get some. The only thing is that berries have thorns, so I gotta be pretty careful. And then always crossing this little river right here. So this is a little bit of a treacherous spot right here. You're gonna cross that stream. This is one of the heavier flow rivers on Oahu. Me and Moon are cruising. I'm showing him how the Ho'io and the thimbleberries grow. This is an area that it's really, really good for Ho'io. And the thimbleberry grows here because it's pretty cold. So this is at the bottom of a valley, and it's kind of higher up valley. It's one of the only places I can get thimbleberries on Oahu consistently. It's a huge bush area, but it's kind of hard to get to, and it definitely hurts a lot when you get stuck by the thorns, but super awesome little treats. Usually they're really high up altitude, like on ridge hikes, but they need a little bit of cold to survive. And for some reason, this area that we're in is pretty freezing cold. So they do pretty well over here. Like with all the foraging that I do, you know, I'm not here to fill this whole bag up to the brim, you know, with berries and stuff. That's not my job or the way I like to do it. I like to just get enough to eat while I'm here, and I'll bring it out in my stomach. Ho'io fern, had Moon picking out the good ones. I like them when they're nice and spiraled. This is the young ones right here. So I got this awesome outdoor grill when I was in Japan. So check it out. I love what it says too. Go outside, enjoy life. Very relevant. So you stick that down. That right there. Goes right in here. It's Japanese ingenuity right here. So perfect. So we'll put this little grill. You can put it somewhere nice. Squeeze this lemon on these guys. Lots of lemon. You can get the Ho'io too. Yeah, so when I'm cooking on the side of a river, I tend to only bring a couple things in. On this one, I brought some chili oil, some lemon, and some salt, thinking about what I was going to be cooking, which was ferns and shrimp. I know those are going to go good with it. After you work up a really big appetite, exerting the energy to get these ingredients, when I'm in the field, personally, I like to just eat it as simple as possible, or pretty close to as simple as possible. The reason why I like to eat it simple like that is because if you overdo it while you're cooking out in the field, it's kind of going to make you more tired. You're going to have to carry in more things. You make more trash. So this is, for me, a really good way to develop later on recipes too, because now I've cooked the shrimp on a certain type of wood, and that wood gives it a certain type of flavor. And now in my head, when I want to make it really fancy, I'm going to think about the way that the rock tasted, the way that the stream water tasted, the way that that wood had the smell imprinted on the shrimp, and all these different textures and things that you would never get in a nice, refined kitchen. Here in the side of the stream, I can really work with these raw ingredients, raw flavors, and get new flavors out of them. So it's really sweet. The meat is so tender. Like I said, it's all about the head on these guys. That was the head. That's how I like to leave it after. Basically all gone. So yummy. Whatever's left, they throw it back in the stream. And then the other shrimp, little fish, they're gonna have their own meal later. So now the tail. So the tail, I do like to go with my knife and just kind of double check before I go in all the way. See, this one doesn't really have that big poop line, you know? Actually, it doesn't have any at all. It's because what they're eating back here is super clean. They're not, well, it has a little bit of a line, but take that out. And dip it right here. So good. Let's get into one of these claws. So usually I bite down and I pull and it gets all the meat out, but this one it's so soft. You can see all that claw meat right there. Just gonna go ahead and take soft shell shrimp. Oh man, this is so yummy. No, this one has the harder shell. Flick it away. Now this one, I'm gonna peel it because it has that hard shell. This is a forest mukbang. Wow. Dude, this is some of the best shrimp you can get. All the way deep in the forest. Let's do a double bite now. So I get the fern. Perfectly cut, still crunchy. This is what the river provides. It's got eel fern, which always grows by fresh water, and then the freshwater shrimp. I think just anything with chili oil tastes good. Alright, this is the God bite right here. You guys all know about the God bite. It's been a while since you had a God bite. So good. Take these shells, recycle them. That's all food for the shrimp, for the fish. Now for dessert. Working up quite the appetite. I think if you're in a survival situation and you had all this at the same time, it'd be so good. So these are the thimbleberries. Not raspberries. Looks just like a raspberry, but really neutral in flavor. Not a really crazy berry flavor, but it is sweet. Then it is a nice little novelty snack. Yeah, so this is our dessert after diving, spending all that energy to get these shrimp. And I got a little thimbleberry dessert too. I have like 3 of those a year where I can get enough to do that, so I enjoy that a lot. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe and like button. It really helps out the channel. Had so much fun today diving with the shrimp, getting shrimp, ferns, thimbleberries. I had an awesome meal. It's a really cool thing to be able to come into the mountain and go diving. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys on the next one.